How much do you value your eyesight? And do you value phones with fantastic battery and fantastic cameras? Well, if you're looking for a phone that can deliver on that whilst keeping your eyesight safe, then this might be precisely the phone that you've been looking for. And if you are the type of person that walks around with an e-reader and a phone, well, I'm telling you right now, it might be time to throw that e-reader in the bin. There are a lot of ultra phones out there right now, but none of them are quite like this, the NXTpaper 60 Ultra from TCL. This ultra phone boasts 106 patents and 10 international certifications and has won a ton of media awards for its design and its technology. And unlike all of the other ultra phones out there right now, this one retails for under £500 at launch, which is typically half the cost of a flagship phone these days. And what makes this phone very, very interesting is that it has some display tech that I think you might have never seen before on a smartphone. So let's run through the design first, then we'll get into the key specs that you need to know, and then we'll get into that ultra tech innovation that separates this phone from the pack. The NXTpaper 60 Ultra is available in two colors. I have the white model here. It's also available in black. It is a big phone and the back of the device is a matte white finish. It's almost got this pearlescent quality to it when you see it in sunlight. The volume buttons are located on the right side of the device. There's also a 2-in-1 fingerprint scanner and power button. And just below it is a switch that unlocks this phone's ultra power. And we will come back to that very shortly. The camera module design is really interesting. It's got that circular disc. We've seen this before on other phones. If you look closely at the edge of it, it's got those kind of ridges like an actual camera lens. And just underneath the surface of the camera module is this kind of glittery effect on one side. It looks really unique when the light hits it. And this is a triple camera setup and it's got some serious firepower behind these lenses on the device. And again, this is something we're going to come back to. The NXTpaper 60 is a slim phone. It's just 7.57mm thin, and it is tall because it's got a huge 7.2-inch screen. At the top of the phone, it has an IR blaster for controlling pretty much any IR device, including TVs, fans, air conditioners. It also has a speaker grill, top and bottom, for the dual stereo speakers. There's also a dual SIM tray, and it has also achieved the IP68 dust and water resistance rating. Now, while this phone doesn't officially have Qi 2 wireless magnets built in, what it does have is a case that ships with the phone in the box, and this case does have the magnets built in, which means you can use the phone with any magnetic accessories that you already own. And you can also get this, so the case actually magnetizes inside of this modular set. So this is an additional cover which the phone snaps into, turning it into a kind of Filofax style thing. And then you also get this T-pen, which is in this kind of silo. This actually attaches inside of this case, just like that. So when you look at it from this side now, it just looks like a standard notepad with a pen, but this phone is anything but standard. The built-in battery is huge. It's 5,200 milliamp hour and the charging speed is 33 watts. You can get this phone to 50% in 30 minutes, and it does support reverse wired charging at 10 watts. Now, I realize a lot of phones these days have 5,000, 5,100, 5,200 milliamp hour batteries, so it sounds kind of normal and the charging speed doesn't seem that fast. But what's really interesting about this phone is how it takes the regular battery and turns it into an incredible battery using some of this phone's superpowers. And you will see exactly what I mean. When it comes to regular day-to-day use of the NXTpaper 60 Ultra, it runs just like a regular Android phone. You have access to all of the same apps. Out of the box, it's running on Android 15. And it's powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 7400, which is a formidable mid-range chip from MediaTek, and is certainly more than capable of handling your usual social media apps and day-to-day productivity apps. And yes, it can handle some gaming. And TCL has thrown in 12 gigs of RAM to improve the multitasking and backgrounding performance on the device and improve the load times. And if you want to, you can actually double the RAM using the RAM expansion feature, which uses some of the ROM as RAM. And when it comes to the storage options available, there's 256 or 512. Okay, now let's talk about the cameras. The camera hardware in this phone is really quite impressive when you consider the price. The primary camera on this one uses a 1/1.55-inch sensor with an aperture of f1.8 and it's 50 megapixels, and it also supports optical image stabilization, which is important when it comes to video, but also important when it comes to low light photography or if you just happen to have shaky hands. And generally speaking, it's pretty good. In brighter conditions, you might have to tap the highlights to get it to adjust to how you want it to look, but it can handle the dynamic range pretty well. Overall, the performance here is good in my opinion. You can also shoot up to 4K 30 here on the primary lens, and TCL have also thrown in another 50 megapixel sensor for the 3x periscope telephoto camera. The sensor size here is 1/2.8 inch. Interestingly, this one also has optical image stabilization, which is very important when it comes to taking photos further away because the little hand movements can completely ruin the photo. And this one also has a 6x lossless zoom. Everything after that's going to be digital, but it definitely handles pretty well in my opinion. And up until recently, this kind of zoom range and periscope technology was only found on flagship phones. So it's really impressive to see it here. You also get an 8 megapixel ultra wide for those group photos. And this one's a nice to have option. It definitely gets the job done when you need it, but it isn't a match for the other two cameras here on the back of the phone. The selfie camera is pretty awesome though, and it features a 32 megapixel sensor behind those lenses. And it does perform well in my opinion, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Okay, now this is what really makes this phone unique. It has a 7.2 inch Full HD Plus display, but it's how TCL have modified it with their NXTpaper 4.0 technology that makes all the difference. They've actually utilized nanomatrix lithography, which essentially is nano patterns etched into the surface of the glass. And this is what significantly reduces the light glares and reflections to a minimum, and this has actually earned it a title of having 0 reflections. And when it comes to this specific quality, this is the best that I've seen to date. And at the same time, they've managed to solve a problem that pretty much every tech YouTuber will encounter at some point in time: the fingerprint situation. It is literally the opposite of a fingerprint magnet. And it does all of this whilst improving the viewing angles and reducing harmful blue light from the display. And it's also a circular polarized display. This feature comes into play in bright light conditions, allowing the display to remain visible even when you're wearing polarized sunglasses. And you can see the difference between a phone that's not been treated in this way and this one that has been. And here is something else that you won't see immediately. This phone uses DC dimming, not PWM dimming like all of the other phones. And this will help with your eye health in the long run without you even realizing it. The TCL NXTpaper 60 Ultra's display uses 0 flicker tech, which means your eyes won't get fatigued unknowingly due to rapidly flickering light on the display. And at night, the display can actually reduce all the way down to just 2 nits of brightness, which allows it to be visible but incredibly gentle on your eyes. And of course, it's achieved all of the 2 Rhineland certificates for eye safety. Okay, now it's time for the killer features and what you will appreciate the most about this phone. And this switch right here is what unlocks it all. So this switch on the side is what TCL calls the NXTpaper key. This allows you to instantly switch between the regular mode and the Max Ink mode, which transforms the NXTpaper 60 Ultra into one of the most capable e-readers that you can get today. And it is in this mode where that 5,200 milliamp hour battery that would normally last you a day, maybe a day and a half, can extend all the way up to 7 days of uninterrupted reading or 26 days on standby. And because this phone's surface resembles paper, it of course makes it comfortable to look at. But if you do pair it up with the T Pen, the texture on the surface adds enough resistance to make it actually feel like paper. And this is a really premium stylus too. It's actually magnetized inside this silo. The latency on this pen is super low, and 4,096 levels of pressure can be recognized when you're using this. So if you're into artwork and stuff like that, you can be extremely creative with the T Pen. Now here is where TCL takes it one step further. Let's say you like the Max Ink mode, but you want to still access all of your apps. You can actually change the switch on the side to toggle between the regular mode and the NXTpaper mode. So this brings back the full functionality to the phone whilst keeping that stripped back paper-like display. And the other option is the color paper mode, which brings a bit of color back to the display whilst keeping that stripped back e-reader style. And you can run entire Android apps whilst in this mode. It won't look as nice, of course, but you can do it. And this is definitely something that a lot of those classic e-ink readers can't do. And of course, in the blink of an eye, if you need to get back to your regular full functionality of the smartphone, you can just flick that switch and head back to the regular mode. And because it is a fully fledged Android phone, of course, it offers a wide range of options when it comes to AI. And even within the ink modes, there are options for AI. When in the max ink mode, you get this e-books section. And if you want to, you can use AI to have the books read to you like you're listening to an audiobook. And there's also another option. You can have them read to you in a more engaging manner using the AI podcast feature. And when it comes to extracting information quickly, you can summarize books. You can actually grab extracts that have been summarized specifically for you, and you can even use the AI to simplify complex topics. And there is so many more tools, including writing tools. So if you're struggling to write something, you can use the AI to help you out with that. You've got the voice recorder that can transcribe and even summarize entire meetings or lessons for you. The TCL NXTpaper 60 Ultra is definitely a well-rounded device. This is the first TCL phone that I've looked at, and honestly, TCL has really surprised me with how unique they've made this one. And I really think this could be a surprise hit in that mid-range price bracket that it comes in at. And in my opinion, it's perfect for anyone who wants to get things done, who cares about their eyesight, who wants fantastic battery and very good cameras. And it would be even more perfect for you if you do walk around with an e-reader and a phone. This is an all-in-one, and maybe, like I said in the intro, it might be time to throw that old e-reader in the bin. So I appreciate you guys for watching this one. If you want to check out the latest deal on the NXTpaper 60 Ultra, there'll be links in the description and in the top pinned comment. A little thumbs up would be appreciated if you enjoyed this one. If you just subscribed, you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man. See you in the next one. Don't be late.